So the big story in my fascinating life yesterday was supposed to be starting this new job. And that was a thing for me, but I'm already used to it. I mean, it's a big deal for me because I haven't had a sit down for 8 hours a day office desk job for almost exactly 20 years. But I'm very happy to be here, so it's all good. But the bigger story ended up being a little weird, a little unexpected. But after the Reddit thing from last week, people are still calling my famous phone number, 255-2748. And I call in once in a while, just out of curiosity. I connected with Cecilia last week and met up with her, and we had a great time. And last night, I was just there, and when you call in, if there's no one else there, you hear me talking. Sometimes I listen to that shit and I feel like I'm listening to a stranger, but don't get me started on that. I mean, I feel like I'm listening in on a lifetime ago, and that's not because this having a new job is transforming my life or anything. It's because some of those calls are from 12 years ago or 11, 12 years ago. That's what I happened to be hearing last night. So I listened to myself and I'm like, who the hell is that? But as I'm listening to the pitter-patter of my voice, the sound, that stops, and that's your signal that somebody else has called in. And next thing you know, I'm talking to this woman who said she seemed to know a whole lot about me, and I got to know a good amount about her, and we talked for, I think, about 45, 50 minutes. And it was the same as with Cecilia last week. It was just really easy and relaxed, and I don't think there were any real gaps in the conversation, but at a certain point, I have to ask her, are you masturbating? And she just laughed, and it wasn't like an uncomfortable or belly laugh, or it wasn't like anything like that. She just I guess it was something of an icebreaker, because it sounded like that's what she was doing. So she just laughed and said no, and she asked, are you? And I said, no, but I could be. And we didn't get that far because it was getting too late. But in her country, it was like 2 a.m, and she knew she was up too late. And I didn't want to keep her on that account or anything, But it was just a nice. It was almost a wholesome feeling thing to get that topic of discussion out in the open. So I told her about the woman that started calling me during quarantine, whose lover was a pianist and a composer, and she told me how she would lie down under the piano while he was playing or composing, and she would lie under the piano and masturbate for like long hours. And she would talk about how different the pounding of the hammers on the strings sounds when you're like right under it. But a beautiful story, really. And this woman I was talking to was really excited about that story, as was the woman I met with last week. So that's all she really said about that scenario, masturbating under the piano. But I could start with that and have the basis of a classic trashy novel. I just wanted to further add that the way she laughed about it when I asked the question felt gratifying in a way. There was no, I don't know, what do you call it? No embarrassment, no shame, which shame is commonly associated with the subject matter, or that word even. But she thanked me for asking. She was, I don't know I don't know a whole lot about her, really. I'm not expecting this to develop into I don't know what, but she's in her mid-20s, she said. And she's been calling into lines like this as long as she can remember. But she was in another country. But didn't call long distance. She secured a Google Voice number from a US area code or something like that. Anyway, back to work. I think I'm going to make these steaming maintenance hole covers or street coverings. I'm going to make these a motif of any videos that I make down here if I keep doing this. But it's day 2. There was a woman here yesterday. We were just going around the room introducing ourselves. One woman said that she was looking forward to making this job basically the rest of her professional career. She was looking forward to retirement after being here for, 15 years or however long. But I got a sense from her that none of that she wasn't going to follow through. She started complaining about being pent up in an office, and she's never done that in her entire life. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. And she also asked a bunch of questions that made me think, wow, she's really lazy. And guess what? Day 2, she's not here. She's already, I don't know if she got fired, or I don't know how you could get fired yet. But I think she just decided not to show up. Day 2 is ended. And I think it's just a signal of what an overactive mind I have. By the way, that used to be some payphones, 2 of them. I don't know what it indicates, actually. I don't mean to flatter myself by saying I have an active mind. Depending on the nature and quality of the discussion and the presentations and all this, I vacillate hugely between thinking I really don't need to be doing this and thinking that I'm really excited to actually finally be able to do this. And maybe stuffing myself into a strict 40-hour-a-week regimen after all this time is going to help build some character. Like that matters for me anymore. When I talk about having a job that you want but don't need, well, to be honest, this is a little of both, but I need an income, but it doesn't have to be this. As far as income, I could do a lot better than this. But I remember when I worked at the record store way back when, everybody was making $5 an hour. But this one guy joined the team, and he was like a wealthy Wall Street attorney, I think, or investor or something. And everybody hated him because he just didn't need to be there. His presence felt condescending, maybe, or I'm not sure how to put a finger on it, but he didn't stay long either. Which kind of cemented everybody's impression of the guy. The glass is fogged up and I cannot see these stars. But it's like he was this great white hope type of guy, checking in to see how the other half lives. That's not what this is about at all. That's not my attitude. Not even close. But I worry about the appearance. I mean, I don't worry about it too much. I would just hate to create that appearance even to one person. So here I'm back at the Futon Center. Transferring at 14th Street on my way back, but wanted to see if the TTY still works. I have a strange intuition that it's not going to work, but I'm happy to be wrong. Nope, still have dial tone. I don't think the star shortcuts work on this one though. Wait. That was weird. Star 10. Okay, it does work. All is good. Still have a working phone here at Union Square, 14th Street. And that's a better placement, as I learned from my friend last week. More visible.